paths. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
The views and opinions expressed on Trudging Together are solely those of the host, co-host, and our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any organization, fellowship, or other entity, and definitely not your boss, your neighbor, or that one guy in your home group. The content of this program is not intended to replace medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're looking for that, please seek guidance from qualified professionals who spent way too many years in school. What you'll hear here is based on lived experience, recovery journeys, and the occasional bad coffee-fueled joke. Trudging Together is not affiliated with any 12-step fellowship. We are simply people sharing our stories and walking this path together, one day at a time. Thank you for joining us, and remember, recovery is serious business, but that doesn't mean we can't laugh along the way.
Double sober Sundays. Double sober. It's Sunday. I have to fill my meds for the week. For those of you that don't have video, I have my med case, where you have the different weeks. Some noise. That's my wife whistling. Sounds like a windstorm. Sounds like a windstorm. I don't know. Usually I don't do two on Sundays. Sundays are usually the worst days to go live. Everybody's busy. Sundays is not the best day, but we're going to do this. We're going to do it. Do it, right? I'm sure we'll get some people here eventually. We'll see. This one probably won't be too long. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I am your host. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. And today we're talking about life on life's terms. Let's do this. We're in grab information from a couple of things. And what do we mean by, in fact, that's a great question. What exactly do we mean life on life's terms? Hi, Michelle. Good to see you. Here it says life terms means accepting reality. Yeah, I can read. Thanks. All right. Life on life's terms means accepting reality, including unexpected challenges and uncontrollable events, without trying to force situations to go your way or numbing yourself to reality. It involves finding serenity by surrendering to the present moment, taking accountability for your actions, and focusing on what you cannot control. These are pretty good. I like these. Radical acceptance. It's radical, man. It's radical. You see those waves, man? They're radical. Yeah. You know, I Valley girls use 2 contraceptives to be like, for sure. All right. There's your joke for this one, right? So, right. Got new stuff for my hair. My wife gave it to me. This is better than what I was using. Yeah. Planning on some good hair days this week. So radical acceptance, embracing the current reality, even if it is unpleasant or painful, rather than struggling against it. All right. My wife and I this morning, we were talking about money, which is never easy or fun to talk about unless you got a bunch of it. Unless you're sitting around, hey, we've got an extra $1 million. How are we going to spend it? Then it's okay talking about money. But when you have none, all right. And we'll make it things like that, right? But, and that was the conversation. We're going to make it through. We got to stick together. We'll do things. We'll put our intentions towards this. All right. And then my kids out of nowhere, they're like, hey, we owe you money. Here's some money. All right. So I'm going to cover It's not gonna cover it, but it gives hope, right? You'll probably see that I am. Michelle says, I was thinking it was Monday and watching the clock. Oh, oh, do you think we're gonna have the 5 o'clock today? And that's why you're like, it's Sunday. Is that it was that extra hour you got or that lesson? You know, that was the hour I was going to take to improve my life, you know. I saw that earlier, right? But you know, life on life's terms is, you know, kind of accepting on what is going on. And it's not always going to be bad stuff. Life isn't always bad. Sometimes it's hard to accept something good going on too, especially for alcoholics who have known nothing but negative things for a long time and now things are going correct. Sometimes when in the beginning of sobriety, things will be going good for you, and you'll hear people say things like, well, you know, I'm just waiting on the other drop to rock or the other shoe to drop, right? Um, let's see. Oh, great. 4 day week this week, and then it's spring break. Oh boy. You know what that means? You know what that means for grassroots? Means we're gonna have more bombers. You know what's funny? We did have a troll on in Saturday's meeting, and nobody even noticed. They were there for like 15 minutes. I just kept them very busy on chat with conversation. Nobody even knew. And I didn't say anything to anybody either. Yeah. All right, letting go of control, recognizing that you cannot control everything or everyone, and finding peace in that limitation. All right. It's like earlier, Shan was doing dishes. I'm supposed to do dishes, and I can do them now. My finger still hurts, but I'm capable of doing them. I was going to say something, but nope. It was me trying to control something, what she was doing. Fact of the matter was, she was on a roll, and I needed to stay the fuck out of the way. And I did. I just stayed out of the way. If she was headed that way, I'm like, okay, I'm moving. Okay. When somebody is on a roll cleaning, do not stop them. Don't interrupt them. Leave them alone. Okay. They've got planned in their head. We all have ADHD to some extent. Right. Right. And finding peace in the limitation. I like the way they put that. Finding peace in a limitation. Wow. I like that. Yeah. Sober living, if recovery in recovery circles, this specifically means facing life's ups and downs without using drugs or alcohol to escape. Okay? And you don't have to do this alone anymore. There are people out there that will help. Yeah, you're not alone. You're not alone in this endeavor. I go to meetings, finding it says sober living here. They don't mean sober livings as a house, things like that. They mean living a sober life. Okay. And hanging out with people who want that same thing or who want that for you, even. Right. Yesterday or a couple days in the meeting, people were talking about, you know, how our non-alcoholic friends deal with it. I don't really have any. I get along with alcoholics, man. Um, you know, my wife's probably the closest thing to, you know, Pastor Marcia. She's one. That's about it. That's about it. I don't hang out with people that drink. And it isn't because it isn't that I don't hang out with people that don't drink. I just don't currently have any friends or people in my life that drink a lot. I just don't. You know, I attract people that want to live a certain life. So anyway, right? So action over reaction. I like that one. Reaction. Did you listen to the Mark Lundholm? Did you? I haven't gotten any comment. I got one. I've gotten one comment on it so far. Right. And that was over from somebody that it was actually a guy that came and spoke at our meeting a few weeks back. Daniel. He did a great job. I found out where he works, and we've been talking all week. He's a cool dude. I like him a lot. Um, but he was friends with Mark L, and he's like, that turned out really well. Can't remember the last time I saw him with a mustache. But if you haven't listened to it yet, I would recommend going and listening to it. He had a lot of great things to say. A lot. He talked a lot about the first thought is wrong. The first thought is wrong. And he kept saying, you want me to give you a shortcut? And these really aren't shortcuts. What he's saying is you're thinking about it too much. Simplify that stuff. And if you listen to it, did you listen to the end? Okay. Yeah, I know you didn't. Go listen to it. Okay. All right. There's my overreaction to that. That was my reaction. Now, that says you're focusing on doing the next right thing. You know, maybe it's just because I have heard some people that I really don't agree with say things like that, say that. But the question is this: does an alcoholic really know what the next right thing is? Do they? I think after a time, maybe some practice, things like that. Personally, I'd rather go to God and ask him, what do you need? What is it that needs to be done? Right? Because what is the next right thing? I don't know. Right? What I would say is focusing on your intuition. Yeah. I'm just giving you another way to look at it in case you don't like, you know, because when I hear people say, "Oh, I just do the next right thing," what I hear you saying is you do whatever you want without referring to people before you do it. I might be wrong on that. I'm just saying that's what I hear. Okay. So, and maybe not, who knows? But if that works for you, then take it. So, in managing responsibilities instead of retreating into victim mentality. Now, in the beginning, it's going to be hard to face these snakes. After a while, it becomes, it just, no. Hold on. All right. No, it wasn't bad news. Just, just so you know, it wasn't bad news. It was actually very good news. All right. Anyway, all right. Somebody just made a pretty big donation. I'm not going to say who, I'm not going to say how much, things like that. I'm working on, anyway. So before I move on, there are like, Michelle, Amber, there's probably, we usually see Amber and Michelle, they talk leisure, right? There's a few people, Nick shows up every now and again. Harold's been around a little bit. But then there's a bunch of other people that do listen to me. They don't necessarily out the lives and maybe not comment, but thank you. Thank you for showing up every day. Thanks for listening. Just thank you. All right. So action over reaction, right? So if you listen there again, if you listen to the Mark Lundholm, he talked a lot about that first thought is wrong. The first thought is wrong. Right. And I appreciate him really digging into that because I think we alcoholics are embarrassed. I think we alcoholics are embarrassed when it comes to, it's embarrassing to let people know that my first thought is almost judgmental and negative. I don't like admitting it. Kind of makes me feel like a dick. And I don't want to be. I want to be that person anymore, right? I haven't been that person in a long time. Thank you, God, right? So, what do we do? Well, we're going to think about it for, what do they say? If you're angry, wait 10 seconds, right? But when it comes to these reactions, we just need to question it. Really? Is that really what we think? Is that really it? Huh. So so action instead of reaction, right? Because even with those intrusive thoughts, sometimes they're funny though. Sometimes they're funny. I was in a meeting the other day and somebody was wearing a shirt. It looked like something Michael Jackson would wear, but it was brown instead of red. And so I said something to my sponsor, and he thought it was funny too. Anyway, right? So don't beat up on yourself for having those. Okay, there's a couple ways that we could kind of explain that. Number one, it's a very bad habit. We alcoholics are judgmental. I don't know if we were born that way, if it was created. Who knows? Does it matter? Once you have it, does it really matter? It would only matter in the fact that if it could be prevented, that you could pass that on to somebody else so that they don't go through it too. Like the last 10, 15 years of literal hell, right? So don't think bad of it. That doesn't make you a bad person. Okay. Just just go ahead and think of the next thought. Right. Even Mark was saying sometimes it's the fourth, fifth, sixth thought that's the correct one. And we all go through this, but it's not something that we like to talk about because it's hard. Like I said, it's embarrassing. And I want you to know we all go through it. We do. All right. It was if you listen to it, I mean, he gave me a hard time and I loved it. I loved it. And at one point he says, Dion, you are so easygoing. Like, but the thing is that here's the thing. I, it's not my show. It's his show. If that's what he wants to do, go for it. I'm utilizing your talents. Go for it, man. Yes. That is what's different about what I do. I relinquish control. I don't want it. I'm there to have a good time and hang out with a friend, grow a little bit, become something better, right? Thank you, Mark. Appreciate your time, man. Go follow him. Support that dude. He does a lot of really good work. He helps a lot of people. He does. I have to say, I'm slightly jealous, but I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of him. Hey, but what could I say? What could I say? You know, I did tell him, like I tell everybody else, if you need something, I am here. Right? Michelle says, I judge right off the bat too. I usually talk to my inner voice and tell myself, hey, they're God's children. I think that's a great reply. There we go. When we remember, because if you're like me, we utilize unconditional love, and unconditional love just means if you're a child of God, I love you. There we go. That's all I really need. So that brings her thought back to love. How can I be of service? What can I do for this person? Is there something I can do to make their day better? Isn't that what we're all about? We used to run around and make life harder for people, which means we are very capable of making somebody's day better. We're very understanding people. We have a lot of empathy. We've been through a lot of things. And we are sure that our way will work for all. Right? Because when we're talking and stuff, we go to meetings. We're not talking about how to avoid alcohol and all of that. No, we're talking about life. Everybody, what everybody goes through, life on life's terms, accepting it for what it is. Sure, there's a lot of things going on right now, but is it okay that everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be right now? Is that okay? Cool stuff, man. Emotional regulation. Yay! Dion needed that. You want to hear something cool? I went to me and I go to this meeting every now and again, but these people don't know me. I go to it on Sundays. It's in Ireland, right? It's called Desert Island. And after, and I shared, um, and afterwards, somebody wrote in there, "Oh, that's Dion. Is it okay for you to share your podcast? Is that okay here? I believe it's called The Daily Trudge." I'm like, no way. No way. And I needed that today. I needed to hear it. Not because it isn't because I don't feel like I'm doing enough things like that. It's just there is something. I know I help people. I know I'm helping the right amount of people. I trust in that, but it still isn't enough. It's like alcohol for me, helping more people. I want to help more people. Maybe that's an egotistical thing. I've really got to consider that. Okay. So managing emotions and adapting to change rather than letting difficult circumstances dictate your behavior. Isn't that what we're supposed to be doing? That is what we call practicing these principles in all of our affairs. Right? Don't and there's a daily reading that you probably read that if it's a happy occasion, go and attend to it. Make the day the best that you can with what you have, right? That's what we do. You see somebody going, you see somebody, floundering, so you help, right? Yeah. Right. So most of us didn't drink. I know that I didn't drink just because of alcohol. I drank because I didn't want the world scared the fuck out of me. It scared me and I didn't know what to do with it. I have to admit it. It did. Sometimes this world still scares me. No. I was trying to escape. It's what I wanted. I wanted to escape. I wanted to numb it. I wanted to control it. And that's what happens when life doesn't go the way that I want. That's how I get. Right? And it's that fighting reality, people not behaving the way that we want, situations we can't control, expectations not being met, the past that I can't change. Now, I wouldn't change a thing. Well, I still might. If you had a chance to go back and change something, would you? Because, see, I love who I am today. And everything I went through made me who I am today, including the abuse, which I don't like to admit, but it did make me who I am. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to go around thanking my abusers. Not a chance. But at least that can get me to a place where I might be able to forgive so I can have a good day. So you can have a good day. That we can forgive ourselves. Right? So, and what was it that changed everything? It was acceptance. There's that acceptance again. Acceptance is the key that'll set you free. And acceptance is the key to all my answers today. Okay. With action. Got to have some action in there. You just can't accept it and go la-di-da-di your day. Okay. You got to put some action into that acceptance. Right. So accept the situations we can't change. We respond instead of reacting, and then we let go of resentment. Acceptance doesn't mean liking everything. It means stopping the fight with reality. Stop fighting with reality. And that's where it is. I stopped fighting it. It is so hard to paddle upstream when it's a raging river. But I certainly tried. No. Now I go with the flow. I take it where I just do the next right thing. That was a good place to slip that in. Right? Yeah. What happens, happens. You know? I like when it's come to people sharing the grassroots. I just let them. Hey, can we do it that way? Sure. You're sharing. It's nice just to, because there's a part of me that's like, no, it needs to go this way. Now, that's how you chair, Dion. Let other people chair. Fuck it. Who cares? I don't care anymore. Right? And when we do that, like yesterday, Saturday, it was so cool. The old timer was like, you know what? I don't have a speaker tonight, but I bet there's somebody with about 90 days that would like to share 15, 20 minutes. I'm like, yeah, yeah. So cool. So cool. Right? Because that's not something he or I would have thought about if it wasn't for 3 weeks ago when Amber brought that up. And we're like, why not? And watching it grow. And then it was my sponsee told his story. And when he was done, I was watching him. It looked like it was walking on air. I'm walking on sunshine. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right? See, is that cool stuff? Because we stopped fighting. What helped me to get this way? On inventory, talking to another alcoholic, prayer, meditation, helping other people, having gratitude in my life. And when I stopped fighting, my stress went down. So none of you, and so I went through a shit ton of neck pain. Neck pain. There are weeks I couldn't even move my head. Right? It still isn't fixed. Right? And this is while I was going through my PTSD. It was going on in recovery. And it was acceptance and these other things that allowed me to start letting these things go. Do I still have neck pain? Yes. Okay. But it can be worked through by a massage, or I don't need to go to the doctor. I don't need all these other things. I have less neck pain because I am living life on life's terms. Yep. I don't stress out about every little thing. Oh man, I do not miss it, right? Resentments fade. Says relationships improve. I have the best relationships I have right now that I've ever had. Peace becomes possible. No, peace becomes a mandate. Peace becomes reality. Yeah, that's reality. So life doesn't become perfect. We just become better equipped to handle it. And that's all right. Right? Better equipped to handle it. I was just talking about Amber about learning new things and things like that. And we do have to be learning because I'm trying to figure out what I want to do next. And it's going to take some learning. Right. And I think sometimes we tend to think that because somebody's a little bit older, they're not willing to learn me, but yeah. So, but you also have to remember we have limited time. We don't have as much time anymore. Right. So I'm just fucking around. So recovery doesn't move with life's problems. It changes how we live through them. All right. So think on it yourself. What has helped you learn to live life on life's terms? What has helped you? Right? And let's remember that. Let's remember that. All right, that's going to be it for today. Remember to please like and share our stuff. If you would like to donate, yes, I am now asking for donations. If you'd like to, no pressure. It's not going to change anything for you. You can do Venmo at Trudging Together or the Cash App $sign Dion G. Miller, Dion G. Miller. Make sure you put the G in there. It stands for Glenn, right? Stands for Glenn. Michelle says one of the things that helps her live life on life's terms is willingness. I would agree. Yeah. Yay, willingness. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out.